You've probably heard the word alchemy before. And if you're like most people, you picture old men in dark rooms mixing potions, trying to turn lead into gold. But here's the secret Jung discovered. Alchemy was never really about lead or gold. It was about us. It was a hidden map of human transformation. The gold they were searching for was not in a furnace, but in the soul. And once you see this, you'll realize your entire life is an alchemical process. Think about it. Every time you've been broken, every time you've been lost, every time you've stood at the edge of despair, hasn't there been a part of you secretly hoping that all this pain would mean something? That somehow you'd come out stronger? That something inside you would change, like lead becoming gold? That's the very heart of Jung's idea. Alchemy is the symbolic language of psychological transformation. The alchemists believed that within base metals, like lead, there was a hidden spark of perfection waiting to be revealed. And Jung said, isn't that exactly what we feel inside ourselves? On the outside, we're clumsy, insecure, jealous, anxious. We sabotage ourselves. We hurt people we love. We scroll until 3 a.m. wondering why we feel so empty. That's the lead. But somewhere buried in all that heaviness is something pure, whole, and luminous. That's the gold. And individuation, the process Jung described, is the journey of uncovering that gold, not by running away from the lead, but by transforming it. The first stage in alchemy was called nigredo, the blackening. It meant death, decay, falling apart. And here's where it gets uncomfortably real. Haven't you noticed that every deep change in your life started with something falling apart? The breakup you didn't want, the job you lost, the night you looked in the mirror and said, I can't live like this anymore. That's nigredo. It's the depression, the confusion, the void, the part of life most of us try to avoid. But the alchemists knew, and Jung echoed, without this death, there is no rebirth. Or, as Nietzsche put it, one must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. So if you're in the dark right now, maybe you're not broken. Maybe you're in the first stage of alchemy. After the blackening came albedo, the whitening, the cleansing. This is when you start to see glimmers of light again. It's not enlightenment, it's not perfection. It's those fragile mornings when you feel, for the first time in months, like maybe, just maybe, you're going to be okay. It's when you realize the pain didn't kill you, and maybe, just maybe, it taught you something. Think of Dostoevsky, who said, pain and suffering are always inevitable, but we must learn to suffer, for in suffering lies the birth of the soul. Albedo is when you wash yourself in that truth. You see your wounds differently, not as scars to hide, but as signs that you survived. Finally, the alchemist spoke of rubedo, the reddening, the final stage where opposites merge. For Jung, this was the union of conscious and unconscious, the moment when you stop pretending to be just your mask, the persona you show the world, and instead embrace your shadow, your wounds, your hidden desires. This is individuation, becoming whole. It doesn't mean becoming perfect. It means you stop splitting yourself into the person I am and the person I don't want anyone to see. You integrate. You carry both the light and the dark. And in that union, you find gold. Imagine a clay pot. It cracks, it shatters. Most people would throw it away. But in Japan, there's an art called kintsugi. They repair broken pottery with gold. The crack doesn't disappear. It shines. The flaw becomes the most beautiful part. That's alchemy. That's individuation. Not erasing your past, but filling it with meaning until it glows. Now, I know, this all sounds heavy. Alchemy, shadows, unconscious. You might be thinking, great, so my quarter-life crisis is just medieval chemistry for the soul. Exactly. But maybe that's a relief, because it means your struggles aren't random. They're part of a process as old as humanity. Jung said the symbols of alchemy appear in our dreams, our art, our myths, our religions, because they're the language of the unconscious. And if that's true, then even your messiest moments are part of something meaningful. Think about it. When you feel jealousy, there's lead, but also a signal. What you desire most is hidden in that envy. When you feel anger, there's lead, but also a fire that could burn away what no longer serves you. When you feel despair, there's lead, but also the beginning of transformation. Everything ugly in you can be transformed. That's what Jung believed. That's what alchemy whispers. And maybe that's what you've secretly known all along. So the next time life feels unbearable, remember, you're not just suffering, you're in the middle of an ancient process. The blackening, the whitening, the reddening, lead to gold, fragmentation to wholeness. This is the journey of becoming yourself. If this spoke to you, if you felt even for a moment that this was your mirror, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe, because we're only just scratching the surface of the human soul.